Hi, Deborah Roth back again with another installation, and it's been a while. I feel like maybe 3 weeks, almost a month, in my Inner Goddess Team series. A little croaky in my very overheated apartment in New York City, and wishing you an early New Year's. This is the day before New Year's Eve, which people all over the world celebrate. Maybe, and we celebrate different things during the holidays. So I hope you've had a beautiful holiday season as well. The holiday season in the Roth family has been a little challenging, which I won't go into, but there have definitely been some beautiful highlights. One of which is this discovery that I've been telling everybody about. I thought, oh, everybody must know about this. I must be the one that's, out in left field. This wonderful discovery that I read about from just a fabulous new app. I've been getting emails, but I've never gotten the app, called the Divine Feminine app. So check it out. I actually should remember to put the link in the YouTube description. Talking about the fact that Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer should probably be called Rhonda or some other R name, because male reindeers lose their antlers in the late autumn. Female reindeers keep their antlers throughout the winter, and they are considered the leaders, the compassionate leaders of their flocks, of their group of reindeer reindeer folks. And in fact, reindeer were honored in so many traditions in Northern Europe. Neolithic times, back when things were much colder, in Northern Europe, in Siberia, in just the northern, very far northern hemispheres, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. So while I'm talking about the deer goddess, and particularly the reindeer goddesses, I'm just kind of doing an overview, because in this, and I love it when this happens, in this deep dive that I ended up doing, I discovered all kinds of other I thought I knew a lot of sun-related goddesses, but these were some that I hadn't covered yet. And so I'll be kind of spreading them out in different sun holidays throughout the year. But this particular one, she is called the Deer Mother in the Siberian Nordic traditions. And the Sami, which are the indigenous people that live in what's now northernmost Norway and Finland and Sweden, they continue to honor her, as actually many of these northern indigenous people do. She is associated particularly with the sun, and it was said that in her antlers she carried the sun and brought it back to, returned sun to the world, which we associate, of course, with the winter solstice. But it really, this time of year, as we're just now, we don't even feel it yet, we just now can begin to celebrate the return of light and warmth to the earth. And so while she may be more associated with the winter solstice, we can celebrate her as we welcome back the sun very slowly over the next several months, and we'll notice just almost imperceptible changes to when the sun rises and when it sets. So this notion of reindeer as females really kind of blew me away, and everybody I talked to about it made me feel better. Nobody else had heard of it either. And they, in fact, when they're moving through the winter with their antlers, they're very often pregnant. And one of the, I guess, biological reasons that they keep their antlers is that, in addition to, and there's all kinds of stories, in addition to carrying the sun or the moon there, really, they use them for protection, so that they can make it to the spring with their newborn baby reindeer, and it's kind of their mark of territory, and so that they can feed in safety with these massive antlers. So it's not even the male reindeer that are leading the flock at that point. They are, let's see, so she represents the deer goddess as an archetype, represents quiet strength, compassionate leadership, resilience, a deep connection to nature and the cycles of nature. So she's really someone that you can honor and that you can uplift at any one of the seasonal transitions, and apparently is done so. Hi, Darcy. Apparently can, and some of these sun goddesses are, excuse me, also celebrated during the midsummer when we're making that change in the other direction. At the summer solstice, when the sun begins its descent south, and everybody gets all, yay, the summer light months, but it's, again, in the summer, it's slowly becoming darker. So some of her, let's see, she was an ancestor figure. She not only does she guide us through the solar transitions over the course of the year, but also our own transitions through life challenges. So that's one of the ways that you can call on her. And these are brutal times up in the far north. She represents the wisdom to be able to survive and resilience. She is, and it's interesting. I have to show you a couple of so shamans are there, and back then, and we're talking 6,000 BCE. So here's a representation of a shaman, a female shaman, and at that point, most of the shamans, because they were all about death and rebirth, and men don't rebirth, women rebirth. So this is how they've reconstructed based on, and here's an actual one. This is an ancient Russian shaman headdress. So, and does it look familiar? Do you like the red fur and the red and white? That I'd heard about. We'll talk about that in a minute. But look at this amazing headdress made out of reindeer antlers and fur, and beads and shells and horns and all kinds of amazing things. So the association, as much as I've certainly heard about, and all of my work over the years looking at earth-centered spirituality and solstices and equinoxes and the original, the origins of some of our big modern holidays like Christmas, that Santa Claus represents or represented originally a male shaman. Well, when you look at the sources, and I will leave in the try and remember to put it in this in my FaceTime or my Facebook little comments or something. But I always put lots more information when this goes up on YouTube, usually on Thursdays. So these were female shamans, and the idea was that the female shamans would imbibe with the same psychedelic, we're all into psychedelics lately. It's called, let's see if I can put my hands on it quickly. It's a particular kind of mushroom that the colors, this red and white in particular, descends from Siberian legends where the reindeers took flight after they ingested this hallucinogen Amatia muscaria mushroom, which is red with white polka dots. And then the female shamans would ingest the same thing. So the legend goes, so the story goes, that they would join them on their vision quest over the lands. And that in some of these traditions, and I'm talking very generally here, because each country, of course, and each culture has a specific way that they their own traditions about this. But some of them, they drop candies and they drop little red reindeer colored cookies down the chimneys. So there's so much. I was just fascinated because I've always heard, even though I always am looking for the deeper, divinely feminine origins of things, so much of this was new to me. There was one particular article that was from this Divine Feminine app that I just told you about, called Doe, a Deer, a Female Reindeer. And she gives so many sources of all the research that's been done that talks about these earliest origins, from, you know, her antlers, the deer goddess antlers. They were all over shrines and altars. They were buried in ceremonial graves, and they were worn, as I showed you, in shamanic headdresses, in the British Isles, Scandinavia, which we've talked about. They revered this this reindeer figure, this reindeer shaman, as a representation of fertility, because it was felt that they were, you know, that they also, these reindeer that were flying through the sky were also pregnant, and that the reindeers that were moving through the snow-covered countryside were pregnant, which is why they kept their antlers, to protect themselves and their young. There's just so much here. And there's, we could go on and on about this, but you really have to read this article because it has all the best resources. There is a feast day with one of these reindeer goddesses in late December. Hello, and that's where all the cookies and things come from. And what else do I want to tell you about them? There are. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've covered most of the just very general stuff, as I said. Oh, also in the Highlands of Scotland, which I thought was interesting, there were two cults, most likely pre-Celtic, a deer cult and a deer goddess cult. And the goddess cult was you know, no surprise, was administered by women only. And it was felt that this, and the other representation of that we've often heard, and that I had heard before, is that a deer's antlers in general represented the tree of life. And yes, that may be, but one of the associations that I loved with this that nobody talks about is that could they also be the antlers representative of the uterus and the fallopian tubes? Think about what those antlers look like. Show you that image again. So there's, it's fascinating to me. And so rather than wait, even though we're technically, well, we are past the summer, the winter solstice, I didn't want to wait until next year to share this with you because I was so fascinated by it. And I wanted you to be able to dive deeply into it like I did. So my, when they distributed their gifts to their tribe members, through drums, the relationship of healing with reindeer magic. I love that. So, I don't think I've sung yet this season one of my son songs. Rise up, oh. Oh, I can't remember it. I'm a little fuzzy because of some of those challenging things that I talked about. Rise up, O sun, by thy light glowing, bring to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O sun, by thy light growing, bring to us beauty, vision, and joy. So, apologies for being a little choppy, partly my head, partly with other things going on, but I so wanted to share this revelation about female reindeer, and there are so many more pictures and original sources from all of this wonderful shaman reindeer information. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of this week, and a graceful, joyful, easy slide into 2026, and may it bring all of the magic your way that you can conjure. Bye for now, and I'll see you in 2026.